After a projected strong voter turnout in many mid-Michigan counties, find out what voters experienced at the polls.
And you see them everywhere during this election season, but how do campaign signs really affect you at your decision at the polls? Find out tonight on a special election night edition of News Central 34.
Well, polls all around the state are closed and the results are flooding in. Good evening and welcome to News Central 34's special election night coverage. I'm Evan Dean.
And I'm Kelly O'Rourke. Well, experts were predicting a record vote-out turnout for the state of Michigan this year. Mid-Michigan was no exception. News Central 34's Kristen Cousins was out and about at the polls today. She filed this report.
Here at Precinct 6, located at Vowles Elementary School in Isabella County, voter officials are expecting a turnout of 2,800 voters. When the polls opened at 7 a.m., lines were formed down the hall and to the door. By 10 a.m., there were 600 voters, and officials believed that the voters will continue to come in at a steady pace. Many voters have been pleased with the service and the crowds here at Precinct 6.
I felt that it went really well. This was my first experience voting, so for my first time, it went relatively well.
Yeah, I was excited. I was kind of nervous, but the lines weren't long or anything, so we just went right in and voted.
So would you say it was a positive experience?
Very, very positive.
Definitely.
It was a relatively easy process. It was only like a 5-minute wait. People were very nice. I had to look over the ballot a lot just to make sure I was doing everything right because it's pretty important, you know.
Would you say that this was a positive experience?
Definitely. It's a really good feeling to know that, you know, what I did here today will make a difference in the upcoming future. Hopefully things will change.
Voting officials are expecting the 2,800 voters to arrive and are prepared to deal with the masses until 8 p.m. I'm Kristen Cousins, here with News Central 34.
Our News Central 34 reporters are working hard to bring you up-to-date numbers on voting turnout locally. In Isabella County, the voter turnout is 1,280. Though that many people have voted. That's 67.4% of registered voters. 2 of 29 precincts have reported. And in Gratiot County, the voter turnout is similar. 1,272 people have voted. That's again 68.9% of registered voters, and 3 of 23 precincts reported for that one. And as of right now, we do not have any results in Clare County.
And voters looking for a ride to the polls found it today thanks to the Isabella County Transportation Commission. The bus company gave voters rides to Vowles Elementary School all day long. Vowles is one of the busiest precincts in Isabella County because many Central Michigan University students are registered there. The shuttle's final run was today at 6 o'clock. ICTC estimates that 500 people took advantage of the bus service. At least 95% were CMU students, according to the ICTC marketing representative. The rides, which are part of a program offered each election, are completely free.
And News Central 34, in conjunction with Modern Rock 91.5, have teamed up to bring you the most complete coverage of this year's election. Greg Gehring, 91.5's news director, had a chance to interview Fritz Wenzel of Zogby International about what the polling process is and what it has to entail. We go live to Greg in our News Central 34 newsroom. Greg?
Thanks, Evan. I spoke with Fritz Wenzel, the Director of Communications for polling firm Zogby International, and he described to me the polling process they've been relying on this election season. It starts, of course, with writing the poll.
It's very straightforward because you simply ask the basic question. If the election were held today and the candidates were Barack Obama, a Democrat, and John McCain, a Republican, for whom do you vote? And once the script is organized, it goes through a vetting process. Many people look it over, make sure it's exactly right, and then we put it into our call center.
In that call center, operators retrieve questions, initiate phone calls via computer, and record the respondents' answers. The data is compiled on a server, and the statisticians take over from there to ensure the data was taken from a valid sample of the population. At that point, results are tallied and released. Wenzel said the whole process can be completed and results released as little as 24 hours after the first phone call is made. I also asked Mr. Wenzel whether the fact that pollsters typically call only landlines has any effect on on poll results. He said they don't call cell phones for several reasons.
Found in our own studies, and there are other independent studies that show that those people who live in cell-only households politically behave no different than those who live in households with landline telephones.
He also pointed out that people may not be comfortable honestly answering poll questions in public places, and that might skew results. For News Central 34 and Modern Rock 91.5 News, I'm Greg Gehring. Back to you in the studio.
And the race for 99th District Representative has been a point of interest in mid-Michigan. Incumbent Bill Call has a slight lead in the area and will be joining his team at Cheers Bar in Mount Pleasant. Democrat Nancy White, a current CMU professor, will be spending the evening with her supporters at the Brass Cafe in Mount Pleasant as well. And White's head chair representative, Sherry Gaunt, is happy with the voter turnout this year.
I'm feeling very, very hopeful. We've had record turnout at the polls in Isabella County and all over the country from what I understand. So we have waits of 2 hours in line in Isabella County in certain areas today.
And employees of Central Michigan University are taking an active role in this year's election. Griffin Endowed Chair Professor Gary Peters, a political science professor, is running for U.S. Senate in the 9th District, Oakland County. Nancy White is running for 99th District State Representative. We sat down with her to discuss the role that running for office has on our classroom and how closely they are linked.
I think that it's probably more the other way around, that my candidacy has helped my position here as a professor, because I'm really up to date on all the current issues in Michigan, everything that's going on. I know all about the the environmental issues and the economic issues, and so I think that's helped quite a bit.
And elsewhere, Faculty Association spokesperson and communication professor William Daly is running for county commissioner in the 4th District in Isabella County. He feels it is important to separate his teaching from his campaign life.
Especially since a lot of them really could vote for me, if they live in the apartments down on Deerfield or out on Broomfield. That's really a conflict of interest. So they've been very kind, but no, I can't force that issue.
Daly's opponent, Christine Allwood, is also part of Central Michigan University's staff. Allwood works in development and alumni services at CMU.
Some major races are being voted on in Isabella County, including state representative, state senator, and Isabella County commissioner. At this hour, the 4th precinct in Isabella County has not reported, and the county commissioner race is still undecided. Among the candidates and proposals on the ballot today, the citizens of Clare County As of now, State Senator Jack Hogendijk is behind with 477 votes compared to Carl Levin's 718, with ahead by 60% compared to Hogendijk's 40. As of now, 2 out of the 29 precincts have reported.
Among the candidates and proposals on the ballot today, the citizens of Clare County also voted on Parks and Recreation millage. If approved, the 3/4 mill is scheduled to begin next year and last until 2012. The millage would be a renewal of the current millage, which has been in place about 6 or 7 years already. If approved, the millage is expected to generate about an estimated $63,000 and will improve the city's parks and facilities. News Central 34 will keep you posted throughout our newscast on the results of this millage. Something that showed up on Gratiot County's voter ballot today was for the proposal of the St. Louis Public Schools operating millage. The passage of the proposal will allow the school district to levy the rate of 18 mills on all property except principal residence and other property exempted by the law. This requires the current millage to be renewed for the last 4 additional years, providing funding for operating purposes. The proposal of this millage will levy approximately $725,000 in 2010. If the renewal of this millage is not passed, the current millage will expire in 2009. The current stance on this voting results are as follows. In the St. Louis Public Schools millage, yes was 561 votes for 59%, with no being 395 votes for 41%, and that was 2 of 23 precincts reporting. And no matter how you're following the election this year, we've got you covered. News Central 34 will have complete coverage of up-to-the-minute polling results as soon as we get them on our website. Log in to newscentral34.cmich.edu for complete coverage all night.
Coming up on News Central 34, voters decided whether the state of Michigan should legalize medicinal marijuana today. Nicole Walsh has more.
And Wade Shields takes an in-depth look at Proposal 2, which could have important implications for the future of stem cell research in Michigan. All that and more coming up on News Central 34.